Samantha from the Maya's Nest Birth Services, and I'm here for another episode of Ask the Doulas. This week we are answering a question that we received on our Facebook page from Brianna, and she asked, I would love to hear your suggestions for how to handle a disagreement in terms of care or interventions offered for between mom and care provider, either prenatally or during labor. Thanks, Brianna, for that question. That's definitely something that comes up often in our discussions with our clients, sort of how to handle these sort of things. So during your pregnancy and during your birth, there are going to be some things that are offered to you, some as routine, some as needed for your unique situation. And it's important to know that everything that's being offered is just that, an offer, which means you can say yes or you can say no. It's up to you how you want to proceed. Some examples of routine tests and procedures are the blood tests or the ultrasound or screening for things like gestation diabetes or group B strep, for example. And during your birth, some things that could come up are needing augmentation, so things to speed up your labor, or things like vaginal exams. Those are all your choice too. So what do you do if you say no and your care provider isn't supportive of your choice? Well, the first thing that you can do if it happens during your pregnancy is know that you can always switch. So it's not a nice thing to have to do. But if you're not getting the support that you need, and no matter how much you've discussed it with your care provider and you're really very certain of your choice to decline, and your care provider just isn't going to support you with it, then know that you can switch. It's never too late to switch. I've known people who have switched at 39 weeks because they weren't getting the support that they needed, even though they were making a very informed choice. And by informed choice, that means they were looking at all the studies, and they were speaking to other care providers, and they were really making sure that they were getting that information that they needed. This talks about informed consent and informed refusal, and basically what that means is it's your legal right to make that choice, and it's your care provider's job to give you all the information that they have so that you can make the decision that is right for you and your unique situation. And it's also their job to accept that choice of yours, because it is, like I said, your legal right to do so. If it happens during your pregnancy and you choose not to change care provider, that's fine too. But just know that there's a good chance that how they're treating you during your pregnancy is going to be pretty reflective of how they're going to be treating you during your birth, when you don't have quite as much time to be able to be looking for new care providers, right? So you really want to be mindful that this is a very important choice that you're making. So who your care provider is really the most important choice that you're going to be making in your pregnancy. If it happens during your birth, a great way to go about any suggestions that are offered in terms of your care is to go through the process of asking those questions. And if your care provider can see that you've really put thought into this and you've really gotten the information that they've provided for you, and you've made this decision based on that, then the chances are they're going to be much more supportive because they know that you really went through that process. So here's my tip on going through that process. I like to teach my clients an acronym called BRAIN. But before you even go into that, the first question you want to ask is, am I okay and is baby okay? If you know that at that moment you're both okay, then you know you've got some time to ask those questions. So the acronym BRAIN. So B stands for benefits, R stands for risks, A stands for alternative, so if I don't do this, can I do that? I stands for intuition. So it's really important to listen to your gut sometimes. We can't forget that birth is between the mother and the baby, and sometimes all we do is look at the machines and and the numbers, but we forget that it really is between the two of you. So listening to that gut will really help steer you to the right choice for you. And then N stands for not now, or need time, or never. So if I don't do anything, what's going to happen? If we wait for 4 hours, what's going to happen? Or I need 10 minutes with my partner to speak about this so that we can really come up with a choice. And it's okay to ask people to leave the room, so you can. It's hard to answer a question when everybody's sort of staring at you, right? So take that time, if you've got it, to really go through all the answers and all the information that was provided to you. Now, in regards to the information that's provided, it's important to really look at the numbers. So, for example, if someone says, or if your care provider says, well, if you don't do this, there's this awful thing is twice as likely to happen. That sounds terrifying, and no one would want to risk that, right? But if you ask for the numbers, so what are the statistics, you'll find out that instead of a 4 in 10,000 chance of something happening, it's now an 8 in 10,000 chance of something happening, which sounds a lot less scary, right? So then you get to really look at that information and the numbers and decide whether you're willing to take that risk or you're not, right? Also, having a doula present, of course, can really help with facilitating the conversation between you and your care provider, and giving you that time to ask those questions, right? So that's our answer for this week. Next week, we are answering a question about home birth from a lady who is planning her first one after 2 successful, pretty uncomplicated hospital births. So we're excited to answer that for you. If you've got a question, head on over to our Facebook page and comment right on our pinned post right at the top of our page, and we'll be sure to answer it in the next few weeks. Thank you. Bye.